who are the most racist? Is it the Southerners in the South? Or the Northerners in the North? Who? And you're going to be surprised by the answer that I give. My answer, this is my opinion, right, is the North. The reason why it's the North, and I feel that way, is because of the fact that Northerners, racist Northerners that is, tend to cloak and hide their racism. You know, they suppress it when they want to have sex with you. They'll suppress their racism when it's time to make money with you. They'll suppress their racism when it's time to do drugs and party and all the rest of that stuff. They'll keep it bottled down. But in reality, when you start asking, you know, can I come over? Can I come over for Thanksgiving dinner? You know, Christmas dinner? Am I invited to your daughter's graduation? Can I be the godfather to your son? And the answer is no. That's the reason why I think the Northerners are more racist than the Southerners, because the Southerners, they're in the South, it's blatant. It's right there in front of your face. Like, you know that person over there is a racist. But in New York, hey, you know, in the northern states, is New Jersey, all of these places, hey, you don't think nothing. You think that person's your friend. In reality, he's not. Never liked you. For real. Never took you serious. Never thought that you were highly intelligent. Always looked at you as an enemy. Always looked at you as a, how can I put it? An underclass of race. A monkey. And that's real. Now, what's so funny about racist individuals, they get to justify when they participate in black shit. You understand? Like, it's okay if they date a black woman. It's okay if they have black children. You know what I'm saying? It's okay if they wear Jordans, if they listen to black music, hip hop and shit like that. It's okay. Like, to be a racist, regardless of whether you're from the North and the South, you're fucked up in the head. Straight up. And let's not get it twisted. I'm not taking anything away from the Southerners, because the Southerners are just as bad. You know, in the South, check this out, for real, and you'll know this to be a fact. In the South, college football is big. In the most racist states like Florida, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, they take great pride in their football teams. And you know, the college football teams, do you know predominantly what race, you know, plays for those teams? Black people, black kids. So could you imagine a white guy? Because I'm not gonna lie, you know, the Southerners have, suppressed their racism too. Could you, in prime example, could you imagine a white racist? You know what I'm saying? Confederate flag, all that shit. They call black people Sambos and nigga this and all the rest of that stuff. Could you imagine a dude like that going to a game, Alabama versus Georgia, and cheering on for the people that play for Alabama, and all of them being black? So my thing is, I will say this, let's bring it back. I will say this, that the Northerners are more racist than the Southerners because of the fact that they try to cloak and hide that and suppress their racism more so than the Southerners. But overall, racism, regardless of whether you live in New York or whether you live down south, doesn't make a difference. It affects you mentally. It affects us. minorities, blacks, the same. You know, I hate it when New Yorkers, specifically New Yorkers, say, I'm not living down south because there's racism down there. People are racist. How? It's certain places in Brooklyn you can't live. Long Island and Staten Island. Y'all know this to be a fact. Why do I have to tell you all this? Why? Why do you all act like New York is this liberal, free state? For real. Let's just keep it a buck. $1.50, that is. In your area, in your little small black community, there's hardly any racism, even though Italian cops ride through your motherfucking community and harass black people. But let's just say, you know, for the sake of the conversation, your little area, the rest of the fucking New York's, the rest, excuse me, no COVID, I'm gonna try all that stuff. The rest of the borough that you live in is racist. You can't run away from racism. You can't get away from that. When you look at cops that have murdered, police officers that have murdered black men, women, and children, let me tell you something for real. I think New York outnumbers, I'll say at least in North Carolina, you got us beat. Y'all got Sean Bell, Amadou Diallo, what's your man's name? Eric Garner. And there's others. And I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, well, we got such, because I'm not trying to defend the racism that goes on down here. I'm not trying to act like there's no such thing as racism down here, because it is. And it's real. But this is what I'm trying to explain to you. At least I'm keeping it $1.50 with you. And I'm saying that they're gonna let you know down south. They're gonna let you know down south. In New York, they don't do that. Or just in the northern states. I don't want to just like really say New York, you know, put them on blast. I'm saying just in the northern states. They'll try to act like, oh, we okay, this and that and so forth, and blah, 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 blah. You know, next time you go to Central Park, tell my ancestors that, you know, you all are walking on, because y'all are walking on like graveyards and shit in a village called Seneca Village that the Northerners tore down. A black community. Next time you go to Wall Street, ask them what was the first stock sold at Wall Street. So miss me with that bullshit. Next time you talk to your Italian friends, ask them about, I don't even want to go there, what they did to the blacks. Because the blacks took their jobs. And I think the late 1800s or something like that, they didn't even brush on it when they made that movie Kings of New York. Not Kings of New York. I think it was Kings of New York. Not Kings of New York with the white guy, with the drug dealer, Lawrence Fishburne. Not that. Kings of New York, whatever it was, where they were fighting and all that stuff. And it was Leonardo DiCaprio and all of that. Ask them what they did to the blacks. Ask the Italians why they so mad at black people. Ask them. And the true Italian that knows his history knows about jobs and black people and what happened. What Italians did to the black people over some jobs. So stop it. Stop it with the BS. Black people got it bad everywhere. It's just one specific spot. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm serious. Yo, listen. This is me talking. I was born in Brooklyn. I lived in Brooklyn. I lived in Jamaica, Queens. I lived in Long Island, Glen Cove, Long Island. Down here in the South, in North Carolina, I lived in Raleigh, Durham, Greensboro, Charlotte. I lived a little bit in Orlando. I lived in Atlanta for like 2.5, 3 years. So I know. Like, I used to think New York was like that. I used to think like, oh yeah, New York is this, this, and that, so forth. And then when those buildings came down, and there was a heavy police force everywhere, and it used to, they probably still got, cops walking a beat, on Jamaica Avenue, you know what I'm saying, on something right where the air train and Long Island Railroad, all in that area with AR-15s and assault rifles, and man, please. I've seen people get hemmed up. And I'm like, what are they doing? He didn't even do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I used to think New York was like that. I used to think, man, shit, New York, man, racism up here. Yeah, right. It's crazy, man. Like, I'm gonna tell you, out of all of the places that I've lived in, where I experienced the least amount of racism, straight up, Charlotte. And even though Charlotte has had, I think they killed 2 or 3 black men, police officers had. I will say, out of the 3, one of them that they killed, it was that football player. He ran up on a cop. I mean, what you expect the cop to do? Like, I don't even think that was racism. I think the cop was really defending himself, and they had it on camera. The man ran up on him. What you supposed to, like, yo, seriously, this is my word. This is my word. I'm gonna get back to the point, for real, but this is my word. I made a video about it. Put your fucking self in a cop's shoes. It's late at night. You want to go home. You got children. You got things you got to do. You don't want to just be a cop for the rest of your life. You got a plan B. Like, you got a plan to exit out of this shit. And this motherfucker saw argue. I'm not saying in the case with the football player, the college football player. I'm just saying, some spontaneous shit. You drive. Listen to this. You got to drive into danger. While people are running away from it. Y'all remember when I used to go to the clubs, they used to shoot them out. Shoot up the clubs, right? We used to run to our cars and get in the car and drive off. Police officers got to go into the trouble, and they don't know what the fuck is going on. You see somebody popping off with the mouth, they go like this. What you gonna do? Let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna do. You're gonna shoot. You wanna know why? Because I could get in a fight. Regular civilians get in a fight and start pulling out guns on each other. Period. Now I know some of you all are gonna say, well, cops get paid and they supposed to be this way and that way and so forth. They still human beings, my nigga. Straight up, they still human beings. So let me get back, making this relevant. Out of the 3, I say one of them, hey, it is what it is. But the other 2, no, it could have been prevented. One of them could have been prevented, I'll say. The other one's kind of debatable. The guy, when they told him to put up his hands, he didn't put up his hands, and then they shot him. I think they got in a scuffle or some shit, and they wound up shooting him and killing him. You know what I'm saying? So we got some, we got some blood on our hands, like, the stains in Macbeth, the play Macbeth, for those that read. Not to be, an asshole, but just being real. Y'all understand the metaphor? Our hands are stained, had blood stains on it too. I ain't gonna say our, like I have participated in it, but the South, they got a long list of shit. You know what I'm saying? But just don't think that just because the South has a past, that the Northerners don't. Just because the South has a past, that the Northerners don't, as well as they don't have a present. Because they definitely do. And this is not just in the northern and the southern states. This is the West Coast. This is everywhere. The place that they say that the most liberal is Los Angeles. Everybody's carefree. I mean, leave it up to a lot of the people that are from there. You know what I'm saying? The Californians that live in Los Angeles. They'll say that it's just a big ass hippie land. Well, damn, police brutality is ridiculous over there. You know what's so funny? This is what I'm figuring out. In most democratic blue states is when black people get killed the most. red states, you know, it is what it is. Georgia's a red state. You know, North Carolina once was, but it's kind of like going back and forth. Georgia's definitely, I know Alabama, Mississippi, Florida is, but it's kind of like shifting a little bit. Texas, I think, is too. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, man, racism is everywhere. You can't stop it. You want to know why you can't stop racism, and racism will never cease to exist? And I continue to say this all the time. There's always one racist person. All it takes is one. It's always one racist parent, whether it's a mother or father, that's teaching their child how to be racist. And then that child, you know what I'm saying? It's like a virus. That child, you know what I'm saying, gets that virus, because racism is truly a disease. You know what I'm saying? It fucks your head up, man. Like, you got to be fucked up in the head to dislike someone based on, their skin color. Or, let me be really, really real, because I hate it when people say that shit. Based on how heavenly and heavily melanated they are. Because there's no such thing as skin color. There's the lack of pigmentation or more. You know what I'm saying? There's no such thing as skin color. And this is another thing too. It doesn't make a difference whether you're a lawyer, a doctor, a judge. You could have several different degrees and college and all of that stuff. You know what I realized, man? That a lot of people just don't have common goddamn sense. Because I tried to explain this shit to people at the YMCA. White old bigot motherfuckers in the YMCA in the sauna. I was like, yo, you know, we was talking about Barack Obama or whatever, and I don't get into these type of debates anymore. You know what I'm saying? I don't talk about religion. That's another thing. Let's lay this on line for those that don't know. Listen, when you in general pop and you talking to regular people, don't ever talk about religion, race, and politics. Those three, keep your nose out of it. I got a big nose and I still keep my shit out of it. Straight up, because it's a waste of damn time. People are going to think what they think. They're going to believe what they believe, and that's that. You're wasting your time. People are never going to change. They're just not. It's just a fact. You understand? But for the sake of the conversation, I was having a conversation with these old bigot motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And they was like, Barack Obama's black. And I was like, no, he's not. And then they laughing at me because I'm trying to explain to these dumb fucks that human beings are not crayons. There's no such thing as a black, a white, a red, or orange person. But they so high up in this shit that they don't even realize that they sound stupid. Even saying it. I've never seen ever in my life, and if there is a black person, what is this? All right, this right here. This is black. I've never seen it. Am I black? Am I black? You know what I'm saying? Now, I will say this, and I'm going to be a sarcastic ass motherfucker. When white people spray paint themselves orange, yeah, there is an orange person. But I've never seen an orange, a yellow, a red, a black person, and a white person ever in my life, unless a white person is mulatto. That's it. And they're black people, so-called black people that are mulattoes. Other than that, I've never seen a white person ever in my life. But I have seen a melanin recessive person. And that's who are so-called white people. The ones that that lack melanin. It's not that they don't have it, they just don't have a sufficient amount. It's just ridiculous. It's stupid. Like, racism is the most dumbest shit on the planet. You know what I'm saying? White superiority. White supremacy is stupid. And I truly understand the whole thing. I get it. You understand? It's maintaining the integrity of the white race. Because by default, if a black person has sex with a white person, we're going to cancel that white person's out. Your genes are recessive. So I get it. You got to try to maintain some dominance. Some type of dominance. Because we can eliminate you all on a genetic scale. So now I'm trying to really gauge in with this racism, and now I understand it. I'm not saying I agree with it, but it's all about self-preservation. It really is. It's all about, hey, look at me. I'm special. And I'll lie, I'll cheat, I'll steal, I'll do whatever it takes for you all to think that I'm God. I'll even make God my skin color. I'll even make God in the image and likeness of my race. So you won't believe that nappy-headed, chocolate black, dusty, rusty, see this? You see his skin is dirty. That's dirt. You won't believe that he built the pyramids. Timbuktu, the pyramids in Sudan, in Nubia. You won't believe that they were kings and queens. I'll take away their native tongues, and they would have to definitely speak Anglo-Saxon, because I can't allow you all to believe and think that we got math from them, language, culture. We cannot have you all believe in that shit. We can't have you know the truth. We can't do it. We can't tell you all that the African bought rice over here, that the African introduced us to rice. We can't tell you that there was a black man that invented the monkey wrench, the stoplight, potato chips, remote control, before there was a PlayStation, before there was an Xbox, before there was a Nintendo, before there was PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. I think that's it. Before all of that there was a black man that created the first game console and game cartridge. We cannot have you believe that shit. We cannot introduce you to the truth. Because when we introduce you all to the truth, then we are exposing our lies. And we won't have nothing to live off of. You all won't support capitalism anymore. You all won't participate in capitalism. You won't believe it in America anymore because, hell, the blacks built America. The blacks built the White House. We can't allow that. If we give the blacks back the money that they worked for, if we give them reparations, they will own America. So, you all fell for the North versus the South, that war. Let me tell you something. There's a war going on. And I can tell you, when it's time to go to war with the black race, when it's time to put drugs into our communities, when it's time to practice epigenetics and put abortion clinics inside black communities, when it's time to put liquor stores in our communities, when it's time to have us in areas where there's food deserts, no grocery stores, no fresh produce, when it's time to bomb our Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Northerners, the racist Northerners, and the racist Southerners drop their weapons down and they come together to go against the black man, the black woman, overall the black family. So don't give me that bullshit about how in the North there's liberal states up there. Ain't no racism going on up there. Yeah, right. Like I said, I attest to it. It's racism in the South. It's what you see is what you get. That plain and simple. But in the North, there ain't no racism up here. Yeah, just because you fucked a few white girls? What the fuck is that? who's that? Was it the LA Clippers, I think? The owner? The black girl, recorded this conversation. He said it plain and simple. He said, yo, you can fuck them. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. But you can't be seen with them. Can't be seen with them in public. You can fuck them, you can do all of that shit. Now I could get deep. I could get deep with this shit. I know I'm gonna go left field with the shit, but if you understand, if you fully understand this conversation, this shit is totally relevant. Totally relevant to what I'm saying. The first baby daddy. Who was the first baby daddy? Besides God. Oh, no, I'm a bad guy, right? You a heathen, you going to hell. Yeah, but God was the first baby daddy. He told Joseph, hey, that nigga right there, Jesus, you take care of him. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'll wait. And if you say I'm wrong, you didn't read the Bible. I know more about your book than you do. But who's the second baby daddy? I'm sorry. All right, we already got that covered. God was the first one. Who was the second one? The white slave owner that fucked black women against their will. Excuse me, let me take it back. Let me rewind. That raped black women and got black women pregnant. And then left that child and called that child a bastard child, and then said that the black woman wasn't nothing but a slut and a whore. How? You raped her. Against you when she didn't open her legs like willingly with you. She had to do it because she was convinced, because you convinced her as well as everybody else that she was your property. And you could do anything that you wanted to do. See, y'all don't want to talk about the secrets that went on in during slavery. It's so bad to the point where the slave owners don't want to talk about it, and the slaves don't want to talk about it. Like bucking the slave. Like there were homosexual acts going on a plantation. Shit, I'm just now reading and finding out that the Spartans, the warriors in Greece, I think, if I'm not mistaken or wrong, they were homosexuals. Real bad. If you all knew the truth, you know what's so funny about racism? I think even if you all found out about the truth, you'll find somehow, some way, still to hate us. It's crazy. Y'all do all our dance on TikTok and be like, I don't know, yeah, all of the emojis, all of the slangs and all the rest of that shit, our style, all of that shit. Rapping, white people want to be rappers now, you know what I'm saying? Chinaman want to break dance and all the rest of that shit. Don't nobody say where they got it from. Oh no, it wasn't this, it was y'all want to make all these excuses and shit. Swagger jackets. Yo, black people, y'all know what time it is.